So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you one thing that's keeping you from getting 70% plus in accounting. So whether you're a high school student or university student doing accounting, I want you to watch this video until the end, because I'm going to be sharing one key thing that if you understand, it will be easier for you to get 70% plus for all your accounting tests and exams. I'm not going to waste your time. This is probably going to be one of my shortest videos, but I'm going to unpack a lot of value in this video. So if you find value in this video, make sure that you subscribe to this channel, you click that like button so that we can reach more students and impact more lives. But first, before I go into my view on accounting, I'm going to speak about how most students view accounting. So how most students view accounting is they usually focus on the numbers. They like accounting is this technical course whereby you need to do weird calculations to solve things like mathematics. So they usually classify accounting in the same bracket as maths. They say you're doing weird calculations, and I want to put you at ease because accounting is actually the easiest. Mathematics, you're solving for x, you don't know why you're even solving for x, just teaching you problem solving. But with accounting, there's a step-by-step process that if you follow it each and every time, it will be easier for you to guarantee yourself 70% plus in all your tests and your exams. So usually how I think about accounting is I think of it as a tree, right? So think of the fruits of the tree as the numbers, right? The numbers that you see. You're calculating depreciation, you're calculating that profit and loss, you're calculating all those numbers. So those are the fruits, right? But the most important part of any tree are the roots. The roots are the most important part. And for me, the roots is usually the objective and the scope. So if you're in varsity, you know that whenever you read your accounting standards, what happens is it starts with an objective. Each and every standard will start with an objective and the scope, because they basically trying to give you an idea of what we're trying to achieve here. That's how you must look at accounting. It's a process. So the first thing you must always try to understand before you delve in any calculation or you tackle any new topic is you must understand the objective and the scope, right? So I'm not saying you should go, if you're in university, read your standard, read your scope, because sometimes they tell you that, okay, cool, you don't need to read the scope, but you just need at the high level to understand what you're trying to achieve. If you're in high school, what happens is you're preparing a statement of financial position, or you're preparing the income statement. You must understand what you're trying to communicate with that statement. What's the objective of the statement? What's the overall idea behind it? Before you even start doing the calculations, you must understand the overall picture, and by doing that it will be easier for you to understand the numbers at the end. But if you don't understand the objective, then you won't be able to understand the numbers. So you must always start with understanding the objective or the idea behind it, right? So I'll just say the high level idea, or I can say the purpose. So the purpose of the numbers, the purpose of the statement, the purpose of whatever you're trying to calculate, you must first understand it at the high level. What are you trying to achieve with that thing? That's the objective or the purpose of that calculation. And the purpose is usually driven by your principles. So I'll say the principles is like the stem of the tree, right? So what happens is if you're in varsity, it starts with the objective and the scope, and then it goes into detail, detailing the principles of that standard or that topic or that module that you're doing. Before you even do the calculations in accounting, you must always understand the principles. That's why I always say accounting is not driven by numbers, but it's driven by the theory behind it or the principles behind it. So this is a process. First thing, you must always try and understand the overall objective, the why behind each and everything that you do. And then after that, you understand what are the principles that go into that. You understand now what's the purpose of the income statement. What are the principles that you need to follow when you're preparing the financial statements? If you're in high school, you think of the accrual concept of accounting, or if you're in grade 12 and you're doing the statement of cash flows, you know that you're speaking about the cash flow basis of accounting when you're preparing that statement. So it's always understand the overall objective, the purpose, the why, and then after that you go to understanding the principles, the theory, and the theory will fuel the numbers. How most students usually think of it, they think of it backwards. They like, I want to understand the numbers first, right? And if I understand the numbers, then I understand why I'm doing this. That's something you can do for mathematics. Try and understand, solve the problem first, and then you'll understand after. Sometimes you solve problems that you don't even understand why you're solving them. But in accounting, it's actually the other way around, right? You must first understand your why, your purpose, and then you move to understanding the principles that drive those numbers, and then after that you'll be able to prepare those numbers. You never think of it the other way around. So think of it as a tree. The roots are the why, the objective, and the stem of the tree is the principles that drive it, which is usually both of these things are usually in theory. Your standards, if you university, they're not written in numbers, they're written in weights, and then they give you examples, practice examples that are driven by those weights. So always try and understand the theory behind it first, and then you'll go to the numbers. Don't think of it the other way around. So if you're an accounting student, whether in high school or university, likely enough, I have exam prep programs that me and my team have compiled. You can go to the link in the description, check them out. If you want to join some of them, you can. And the nice thing is we use what we call the mastery-based approach, meaning that we don't just give you generic lessons, we help you master the thing, the principles, and if you fail, we give you a refund because we're so confident that the system that we've developed will guarantee you a pass each and every day. And it's simple. Most of the times we say, let's start from the bottom going up. Let's understand the why, the purpose, the objective, the scope of some of the thing that you're trying to calculate, and then after that let's move to the principles, and after understanding the principles we'll move to the numbers. We don't do the bottom down method because it usually doesn't work, which is how most students usually think of accounting. So if you like this video, make sure that you like it, you comment. If you have any question saying blessing, I have a question on this, or there's something that I don't get, please clarify, make sure you drop it down in the comment section. Make sure you subscribe as well. The goal is to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of April. I hope you found value in this video. In the meantime, stay blessed.